Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system. It's my favorite system. Was Milky Way galaxy,
This is
solar
your favorite
planet
galaxy,
Earth.
really?
I got lost. It's one of my favorite systems.
All right, that's fair enough.
I like the digestive system. It helps, move things along. And other system, Dewey Decimal System. Dewey Decimal System is, we're going old school. Do you even know what the Dewey Decimal System is?
Yeah. Right. It's been a while.
It's been a fortnight.
Usually if I go to the
the Reagan
library, I
administration.
just go for the internet. I don't actually read.
I never learned to read. So, broadcasting to you from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, Midwest United States, where freedom will make our final stand in case we're attacked by China and Russia and all of the aliens. Yes, that's where we're at. My name's Brian Engelman.
And I'm Blake Walley.
This is Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. Today's topics, we're going to talk about the Biden administration planning to win 2024. How? We'll tell you and get your thoughts. Should Mark Zuckerberg be held in contempt of Congress for his censorship? I mean, can you hold a robot in contempt? I don't know. Jim Jordan, he has an idea of divorcing politics from the FBI. What do you think about that? We'll unravel that for you. Is the Secret Service, are they covering something up? What could they possibly be covering up over at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? I mean, come on. What else today? Leah Thomas. Is Leah Thomas a trans terrorist, and should they be banned from competitions? I don't know. Biden megadonor, Reid Hoffman. Is he paying for political protection? Oh, there's a lot of P's in there. There's that other word that'll get us algorithmically zonked. You just got to say zonk and honk. You can't say real words. But who is Reid Hoffman? We're going to unpack that. We're also going to discuss the, our artificial intelligence czar, Kamala Harris. What should we make of her Freudian slip? Or was it a Freudian slip? I feel like my teachers have been telling me this crap since elementary school, but I digress. We're also going to talk about Justin Trudeau. He's blaming the American right for something. I can't wait to tell you what this is and get your thoughts on it. It's hilarious. RFK Jr., he said something, and so should he be banned from life now? Ooh, is that a thing? All of these topics and more coming up on today's show. So, Blake, real quick, how was your weekend, sir? Any updates? Hello, Jocelyn. Thanks for joining us. Leave your comments here, by the way. I will say for Blake, follow him at thenextlevelnews.com and on Twitter at TV's Blake Walley, Walley. How was your weekend? Any updates? What are you looking forward to? There's so many questions.
Busy weekend for me, so it just went by in a blur, but I'm looking forward. I like the regular week, seems like better until like football season. Then the weekends have a different kind of meaning. But for now, I don't know, Brian, how about you?
Just staying busy, doing a lot of gardening. I got a fig tree that's taller than my head now. It was almost, I thought it was dead. I trimmed it back and it burst, and it is just, I'm getting figs all over. So I got to figure out how to protect them. I might need to get those little baggies and twist it around to keep the birds from going after them. I don't know. This is my first potentially
spray them down with Roundup, just soak them down.
What's that Dirty Dancing where she's dancing and she's like in the shower and there's just water everywhere? I can just see like I'm trying to garden and my hair is just covered in beautiful, bountiful Roundup, and I'm in this springtime shower, this thunderstorm. No, none of that. Thank you very much. But yeah, the garden's doing well, but it takes a lot of work. But it's not much, but it's honest work. And it's like every chance I get to grow another piece of food I don't need to go to the grocery store for. It's a great skill, man. I've never realized how easy it was to propagate some of this food. And you can do it too with your stuff at home. When your potatoes go weird, you plant them. When your garlic goes to sprout, you plant it. And you turn like organic produce into like a garden around you. So anyway, I'm super amped about that. But you didn't join us to hear about gardening, although I bet you Kenneth and Jocelyn do quite a bit of gardening where they're at. Do you garden? That's our question of the day. Do you garden? And what are you most looking forward to out of your garden? Leave your comments.
Jocelyn's in Sedona. Yeah, so that's going to say that's going to be a little too hot.
Yeah, it's 102 in the shade
Vegas.
there. Well,
no gardening in Vegas either, unless you want to grow chili peppers or something. Yeah.
You can always grow some. You can grow cactus. That is a thing.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There's always something that can be done. But anyway, okay, let us jump into today's program. Today's program is sponsored by independent media, such as Blake and I, deciding that we want to make the world a better place. So we're going to do that. That's our sponsor for today. Okay, first topic. I don't see where our stingers are at. It's not under music. It's not under chat. Where did their stingers go, sir?
They're under the video clips. They're under the they changed the UI of the restream. So
is it under design? Yeah. Okay, so I got to click design and then scroll down to video clips. I couldn't find it. I'm going, what the heck is going on here?
Extra steps.
Okay, Blake, number one story.
Yes.
Do you agree or disagree with the Biden administration plans to win 2024 by arresting Trump and his supporters?
I am going to agree with that. They're, in the process of indicting him again. They just sent him Trump just got another letter today, I guess, and he's got to appear in court in a few days. So they are going after him, and I think they're trying to up the charges on the January 6th protesters. So I think this is their strategy going forward. If they can just arrest the leader, hey, you dismiss RFK, you arrest Trump, and then Biden or whoever they want to run as a Democrat, Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, who knows? They got a nice clear path if they can get rid of their opposition. That's one way of doing it. So let's see. Definitely the major story of the day. So let me see if I can pull this up. This is out of Gateway Pundit. President Trump announces he is target of garbage January 6th investigation, given 4 days to testify before a grand jury. Braces for imminent indictment by Biden regime and Jack Smith. And here's it also, in case you missed it, Biden Department of Justice announced this week they want to add more years onto the sentences of several top January 6th defendants, including leaders of the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers. They already put Stuart Rhodes, a good guy, 75 years standing outside the Capitol. I don't even know if he was there. But, so this seems to be the strategy, perhaps. And here's the quote. Here's from Trump here, saying on Sunday night, so last night, or no, it's today's Tuesday, but Sunday night was with his family, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida, where he won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7. So forget about Ronnie D and anybody else.
I already have.
Field. Yep, he was already an afterthought. He was already DOA. And now we should just finish it. Right, just waste some more neocon money and then end it. But
Ronnie DOA.
There you go. I like that. So with all the polls showing Trump, me, leading in the Republican primary by very substantial numbers, almost everyone predicting that he will be the Republican nominee, and he's leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot, all of a sudden he gets this letter. Horrifying news given to him by his attorneys. So deranged Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Biden's DOJ, sent the letter on, again, Sunday night. They couldn't even wait till Monday morning on a regular mail delivery day. They went out of their way to make a statement and stating that he is a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and giving him only 4 days to report, which almost always means an arrest and indictment. So now I guess the Attorney General Merrick Garland, who he turned down for the Supreme Court, blah, 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 effectively issued a third indictment and arrest of Joe Biden's number one, we'll just say, rival. So that's pretty major news. And I could just go to this tweet here from MTG saying, this is why Jack Smith is abusing his power to arrest Trump. The Communist Democrats are trying to win the 24 presidential election by arresting the people's president in order to cover up Joe Biden's real crimes. So that's where I kind of got the question of that day, or of this major story. And I think she's absolutely right. I think this is what's happening. And I got a couple more tweets, but I will pause here for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is insane, and it has to stop. And there needs to be swift punitive repercussions against this lawfare. There's warfare and there's lawfare. I've never seen anything like this. All of this stuff, the Clinton body count, 1 million trips to the pedo island with Epstein, Haiti, Whitewater, Vince Foster. Look, I don't have time to go down the laundry list of the Clinton stuff. Nope. They've never looked in their boxes. They didn't even care about Hillary's server. She was never president. She never had the right to have any of that classified information. These people are all traitors. China they have back doors to all of these private servers. They're getting kickbacks on book deals, allegedly. The Clinton Foundation. No, not a single investigation into all of this. But sure, since you failed twice at trying to paint this January 6th mostly peaceful protest into something it wasn't, and that epic fail with Kinzinger and Cheney and Pelosi fell flat on their face. They're editing videos to add in sound effects to make things sound scary. They're cutting videos out showing that people are being led around peacefully when they're purporting these people to be violent and radical and dangerous to democracy. It feels like it was all a plan to stop Mike Pence from having a chance to bring up all of these complaints on the floor and perhaps kick it back to the states and say, you guys I can't certify this. You need to double check what's going on here. I'm getting way too much. Trump was ahead in every one of these states, and then you all magically paused at the same time, and then you all magically found however many votes to shoot it straight up. I mean, give me a break. They're still going after him. There needs to be something swift to hit the tennis ball back on the other side of the court, Blake. This stuff that Alvin Bragg is doing, that Jack Smith is doing. Who do you turn to? Is this a fast track to the Supreme Court thing? Because there's massive political ramifications for 2024. You can't wait until the next Supreme Court circuit, wait another year, and by then it's going to be too late. And little Ronnie D gets his 30 pieces of silver, and he's going to, hey, guys, look, I'm Republican. Look, I'm in Florida. Yay. Vote for me. And, he's seeing Trump in shackles, sinking to the bottom of the East River in New Jersey or something. That's who Ronnie D is. Nobody's ever going to vote for that guy now. I've never seen a fall from grace like this. He was the heir apparent to 2 straight terms in my book after Trump. And it's like, wow, he was really promised that Trump was going to be in jail. And these people who are colluding against him to rig and fortify yet another election are at it again. There needs to be some sort of fast track Supreme Court kickback to do something punitive to Jack Smith and the people that are doing this to the main political opposition to the person who overthrew the United States government in 2020.
Ooh, yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, we're in a major problem here. So how do we get out of this? And who's going to do it? Is it the Supreme Court? Can we win back in 2024? I don't think so. They're going to do everything it takes to rig the 2024 election. Absolutely. And yeah, whether it's just ballot drops in the middle of the night and they can just, say Joe Biden or Gavin Newsom and nothing else and be Xeroxed or be the wrong size. It doesn't matter. No one's going to audit it. No one's going to look at the signatures. No one cares about voter ID or integrity in the election. It is high stakes and the deep state has taken over. And I don't know how we get out of this. So yeah, you could just say that it's basically a squatter in chief that's sitting in the White House, perhaps. I think Carrie Lake was calling Katie Hobbs the of Maricopa, because she shouldn't be there either. She's occupying that space. So, yeah, this is dangerous times that we are in. And these people are completely compromised, and they want to stay there. And now they're going to go after their political opposition so that they don't threaten them in 2024. So, and then just maybe do a quick review, just a couple more tweets I found.
Yeah.
One from Joel Pollack of Breitbart, who says if Trump is indicted for January 6th, it would be for a non-crime. All he did was A, give a speech encouraging peaceful protest, B, pursue every available and legally arguable option for contesting the election result. The fake electors are alternate electors with ample precedent. And then I will show you also Trump's tweets from Cliff High here. And this is from right after, this is on January 6th, where Donald Trump saying, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. So,
go and make your voices heard peacefully and patriotically.
Yep.
I mean, I cannot believe they keep going to this. I cannot believe this horse hasn't been breathing for several years. In the dust up, in the confusion, yeah, maybe there was a little bit of a time where this was a strange moment and we didn't understand what was going on. We all see it now. You know, even though Kevin McCarthy's breaking his oath, he hasn't returned our calls. We've left multiple messages at his office to get the footage from the skiff. If there were feds there, you know what? Those you can't keep. So what is the thought? They can't show the video because there's feds and they're undercover and we can't expose who they are. Well, yeah, when you're at a thing like January 6th, and you were engaged in potentially criminal or violent activity yourself, yeah, you're kind of done. You're kind of done out in the field. Like, oh no, we got to kind of keep them. We're gonna. No. Like, we can't show you what was going on because these people are out amongst us. It's like, amongst us? Amongst us? Yeah, Pied Piper. How come no one's been charged of spying on Trump in 2015? I don't get it. But like, there is no justice system right now. It's an injustice system, and it works for the globalists. It works for the Democrat Party. The Republicans who are not resisting this are in on the plot. There's no other way to put it, Blake.
Yeah, it seems to be what's happening right now, and yeah, it's all offense. You're talking about Republicans going on offense; they're doing it a little bit, but they cannot just stop with the relentless onslaught from the Democrats of just continually forcing their will on things. So they're going to keep the pressure on Trump, and then nothing gets done. Then the Republicans don't seem to be able to push back, and right now, there's nothing they can do. Not that much that they can do because the Department of Justice is compromised. The FBI is compromised. We can't count on Merrick Garland to do things equally. We can't count on Christopher Wray. So,
sure, Blake. Everybody's crazy but us. Okay. If everybody's crazy, maybe we're the ones that are crazy, right? I mean, right? That's like the theory that they bounce back at us. Oh, you expect us to believe that everything's corrupt? Yeah. That's the human nature of things.
Been that way for a long time, but really accelerated in the last 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why doesn't President Trump file a harassment charge against Jack Smith, Alvin Bragg? Like, this isn't within your purview, and claim this is outside. I need to be on Trump's like personal what is it, analytical red cell room where you kind of like game plan and strategize all these war games and techniques. And I mean, file charges, make a complaint and file a lawsuit for harassment, political harassment, one-on-one. Alvin Bragg, he's not operating it with his role as a district attorney. He's elevated expired misdemeanors to phantom felonies. Horse crap. File a charge, like an immediate one, asking for fast track reasons. And if there's a reason to fast track it, I mean, we're on the heels of a 2024 chance to set that last election right, to set that last one right. there has to be some really aggressive maneuvering here from Trump's team, and the Republicans that are going to sell him down the river, or at least attempt to. They have got to be, gone to us forever as a potential viable political opportunity. If they're going to allow this to happen, it's like, oh, well, no, Trump, he's so divisive. We could just get somebody else in there. It's like the Democrats just destroy everything they touch. They're going to aim at the next person and make them, no. At least this guy's strong and hits back. At least this guy's been there and he's been through the mistakes. This is who the people clearly want. This is who the people have wanted for 3 straight elections in a row. I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but I think they have to stay on offense. I've said it 1,000 times. So file a lawsuit.
Yeah, but look at but they're not doing that to Joe. They're not, sending him a letter and he's got 4 days to show up in front of a grand jury. You don't see anything like that. All I've got is, Jim Jordan is, considering filing contempt against Ray for a couple of things, or he's, considering calling Zuckerberg. We'll get to that story in a minute, but
let's get to. I have those are both of what I had queued up next. Did you have one more? Anything you wanted to wrap up with this?
Yeah, I wanted to pull up this. This is a great tweet from DC Drano talking about the difference here of America's enemies according to the DC Uniparty. So 1, of course, Russia, white conservatives, the weather, climate change. 4, free speech. 5, crypto. Yeah, that's a really good list. But the actual enemies of America should be the DC Uniparty, Communist China, election fraud, censorship, Big Pharma, World Economic Forum, BlackRock, CIA, FBI, DOJ, and Hollywood, and the Federal Reserve. So I think he's spot on. I agree. But how do we get rid of the domestic terrorists within that have hijacked the election and are trying to arrest their opposition and their supporters and demonize and destroy us?
I don't know. We just got to keep pushing. Just got to have a little, just keep working. All we can do is work. And we got to expose, and we got to alert, and we got to raise hell. We got to make phone calls, send emails. We got to demand better. We got to recall people. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't have a magic answer, but let's do everything that we can. And so here's an idea. Speaking of doing everything that we can, this is something Jim Jordan was putting out there. Let me get to this one. So, Blake, do you agree or disagree with Jim Jordan saying that they should move the FBI away from D.C. into Alabama in an effort to remove politics from the job?
Does that seem like one extreme to the other? Not that I'm dissing. I think that the FBI should get out of D.C. That's probably, they got to have a branch somewhere, but maybe their most powerful branch should not be in D.C., not in the Beltway bubble, as it may be, and maybe something more centrally located. I don't know. How about Missouri? Missouri? I don't know. Kansas? Illinois? I don't know. Where do you maybe something in the Midwest? I don't know. But definitely
I'm fine with Alabama.
Alabama seems a little bit.
Nothing wrong with Alabama. Well, DC's a little bit. DC's the furthest left place you could imagine. Up the place that's the furthest right.
Well, that's right, but it's one extreme to the other.
Right. You got to counterbalance the teeter-totter. So this is a story out of this is out of Cleveland. But Jim Jordan is suggesting FBI headquarters Alabama as part of his crusade. See, even the way they write this, calling it a crusade, using these loaded words here, calling the FBI politicized bureaucracy. The Champaign County Republican who chaired the House Judiciary Committee on Tuesday proposed an amendment, poorly written, an amendment to an upcoming spending bill that would strip the FBI of money.
Source? Where's the source, Brian? What is this? What is this right-wing stuff? Is this your Newswire or Neon Metal or?
Yeah, it's a lefty rag called Cleveland.com, but he's
okay.
proposing amendments to an upcoming spending bill that would strip the FBI of money for a new headquarters and urge it to consider relocating its headquarters to Huntsville, Alabama. Jordan has repeatedly claimed that the FBI has been weaponized for political purposes and that it abused its law enforcement powers to hamstring former President Donald Trump's campaign and presidency. Monday, Jordan's committee released a report that claimed FBI improperly colluded with Ukraine's intelligence agency to ask that particular social media accounts be taken down. So, yeah, it continues, but I think the concept here is dead on. I think they need his letters asking that the FBI be directed to submit an operational plan within 90 days to move its headquarters outside of the D.C. area, and that the operational plan consider making use of infrastructure available at the FBI's Redstone Arsenal campus in Huntsville, Alabama. Saying they should eliminate any funding for the FBI that is not absolutely essential for the agency to execute its mission, including a starting point, eliminating taxpayer funding for any new FBI headquarter facility, and instead relocating it, blah, blah, blah. So some support, no chance of passing. Democrat-controlled Senate, allegedly. And we're going to get more of the same.
Well, they got to take the it can't be politicized, the office. So it's got to be neutral. But moving it to Huntsville.
Politicization. I typed it in. I spelled it. I did a word search, and I just ended up changing how I typed it so I didn't have to use that word. I can't say it. I can't type it. I don't think it is a word. I don't think the people that say it confidently say it properly. I don't like the politicization. It feels like there's an extra syllable in there.
Yeah, probably, or a few, way too many. But yeah, yes. What would you want to do if you were an FBI agent? Would you want to move from DC to Huntsville? I'm not dissing Alabama. It just sounds a little
yes, I would.
Humid and overly conservative. You'd rather live in Huntsville than DC.
Oh, 1
I wouldn't want to live in DC.
Blake,
how about Virginia, just outside of DC? Wouldn't want to actually.
You got to get out of the Beltway. Like you're in the swamp. You're too close to corruption. You have to put some distance there. These people are supposed to be more of an impartial umpire,
agreed.
Calling balls.
100% agreed.
The further away from DC, the better. DC is a toxic waste.
Huntsville, Alabama. Yes. Yeah.
You should be home in Greenbow, Alabama. But look, Blake, you and I, we took off from a large city. Roll Tide. You and I took off from Los Angeles. We didn't want to be there anymore. Right. We went to two Midwestern places that are, it's more our speed, kind of. I don't know.
We're not really in the Midwest, are we? What are we in?
Mason-Dixon-ish.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how that's called. I know there's the Midwest, there's
Bible Belt,
there's the South. But what is
the Rust Belt, the Bible Belt?
What is like Tennessee, Kentucky? What is that?
Tornado Alley.
It's not quite the South, but it is. It's the gateway to the South. I don't know. What do I know? Yeah. I'm new. I'm new around here, man. But
yeah,
no, it's
yeah. But I'm happy to be out of the big city. I don't think big city living is for human consumption. I don't think it's the way we're supposed to be living in. You know, it's almost like being a stray animal at Petco. You're in a cage, a tiny little cage. It's loud. It's noisy. It's bright. It's expensive. It kind of stinks. It smells weird. You got a lot of noises. People peeing and pooping all over. You know, you're kind of looking for your escape out of there. You're stacked up, 6 on top of each other. Birds here, cats here, dogs here. You got all your little groups separated. And yeah, no, man, packed into some tiny little sardine of a condominium is not how humans are meant to live. You stretch out, have a little piece of land, grow some food, catch some water, live a life. No, don't just plug into the matrix and sit in your chair and just drool on yourself all day. Escape DC. So yeah, if you're not below the belt, Bible Belt, Rust Belt, below the belt. Right. What's Justin saying? DC was never supposed to have something. It cuts off the quotes now.
So that tyranny would be prevented. Now we see full tyranny occurring in the U.S., and we need to go back to the way our founders intended America to be. Yeah, DC is this weird little federalized area. And they have too much power, too much. The founders would be outraged by the power of the federal government. That's for sure. And they didn't have a
What's
FBI.
that quote? What's that quote from R. Cuomo? It's time I got back. It's time I got back, and I don't even know how I got off the track. I want to go back. Yeah. Rivers Cuomo, Weezer. I don't know how we got so far off track from what the founding fathers created here.
Incrementally,
but we
over
got
a
to
very
get
long
back on
time.
track.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm all about it. Get them out of D.C., put them anywhere. Put them in Antarctica. By the way, research Antarctica.
They wouldn't get any more recruits. Okay, well, our office has moved to Antarctica. Are there any cities there? I don't even know what they would call that.
You don't know what's in Antarctica?
No. Well, I mean, it's probably ancient civilization buried under the ice. Outside of that, and maybe
Antarctica has the best theories and stories that there's a land wall, it's subterranean, it's alien, it's ancient,
I believe so, a lot of that. Yeah, I think it's very possible.
So put the FBI in Antarctica. All right, next story.
Antarctica used to be on the Okay.
Antarctica used to be
on the equator.
Oh
which
my
would mean
goodness.
it was a tropical place. Same with
learn to swim. I'll see you down in Arizona Bay.
Yeah.
Maynard James Keenan. Yeah, Trump said something like that. He was out in, where was he? Vegas? He was in Nevada, and he was joking about maybe there'll be a beautiful ocean here someday. And like he was dragged by the leftist media. Oh, Trump made this bizarre joke. It's like, no, that was oh geez, what's the comic's name?
Bill Hicks.
Alex Jones.
Bill Hicks.
Yeah,
Arizona Bay.
Bill Hicks. Learn to swim. See you down in Arizona Bay. So when the poles shift again, who knows? Maybe Atlantis is in Antarctica. I don't know. I digress. Okay, let's get to Zuckerberg, Blake. Do you agree or disagree that Mark Zuckerberg should be held in contempt of Congress for his censorship?
Yes, I'm going to go. This is another Jim Jordan article that I have. So let's pull this one up. It's out of the gate.
Doesn't the name Jim Jordan sound like something like a co-worker of Bruce Wayne, like in the Batman universe? It's like District Attorney Jim Jordan.
There you go.
Like, doesn't it sound like a DC character name or something?
I suppose, yeah.
Jim Jordan.
Roll with it, yeah.
I love that picture they picked for Zuckerberg. That's hilarious.
Oh, I love some of the ones that Elon has been putting out. Or the one where he's a lizard trying to be human or robot. There's a few of
Smoked
those.
Meats.
It's been quite a rivalry, yeah. But House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan is considering holding Mark Zuckerberg in contempt of Congress. Earlier this year, Chairman Jordan issued Meta a subpoena for censorship documents and internal communications of employees. But Meta refuses to turn over the documents, so Jordan is strongly considering holding Zuckerberg in contempt. So notice, there's not like Zuckerberg's on Facebook going, holy shnikes, I got a letter on a Sunday night, and I got to pull up in front of a grand jury in 4 days to be held accountable for something and have no time to prepare. That doesn't happen. It's just hey, I'm strongly considering holding you in contempt. But this is what we've been criticizing for quite a while, Brian, especially you. Yeah. So, sources with direct knowledge.
I'm strongly considering taking him seriously then, unless he does something about it. Zuckerberg has earned it with his lies. He's absolutely earned it.
Yeah, so you got this kind of the same thing going on with like the Twitter files, and you've got feds meddling with censorship internally within Facebook or Meta, what have you. And Congress would like to know what's going on. And they don't want to share that information, obviously. That would, they might be incriminate themselves. But, so they just sent over 50,000 pages of documents, according to, but have not actually sent the internal communications regarding the company's censorship efforts. So, what do you think? So, I will agree. Yeah, I would like to see it. I think we should all know that the social media companies are actively involved in coordinating and censoring American people.
We need a Better Call Saul to step up with a class action lawsuit and sue him into oblivion. Every user who was censored, silenced, demonetized, the New American Media page. By the way, make sure you're following the New American Media on Rumble and YouTube, Twitter at American_media_. I don't know, Truth Social, Instagram, Parler, Telegram, Signal, Dust. Yeah, we're on 100 different platforms because Zuckerberg erased my channel with no explanation, no opportunity to remedy any alleged issue. This is a class action civil rights case. Somebody sue Meta into oblivion, and we should all get a check for $146.27, like all these class actions that we get. You know, we get stacks of them in the mail. Did you have Time Warner Cable between 1997 and 2006? Like, yes, I did. Well, then you might have earned $23. They overpaid or they overcharged you.
Did you spray your fig tree with Roundup? You may be eligible. Yep.
I'm just slow motion, just rocking my hair back and forth, shooting. Yeah, I could see that right now. We need to make a parody Monsanto commercial. That would be
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah, did you or a loved one eat figs?
A pile of dead honeybees everywhere. Just
we kid because it's true. Okay, so yeah, let's do it. What is the next step with Zuckerberg then? What, like, it was just a strongly worded
he's
letter.
Just considering sending. Yes.
Oh,
it's not even the letter. There's no letter written. It's just I should really think about this and send you a letter. So it's pretty sad.
Very sad. Once again, either there is law or there's not. Is he above the law, like Hunter?
Oh,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. We hit our next story then.
Yes, we are. Let's jump to the next story. I think we're finally on a rhythm here. We're knocking through the news. We're doing good. Blake Walley, do you agree or disagree? Secret Service is covering up the cocaine investigation to avoid scandal.
Well, this reminds me of Jim Fetzer back in the day. Under the Gun. That was a fast-paced and intense show, 2020. All right. This Mr. Fetzer, I think he had a birthday out there not too long ago. Good man.
I think I was more going for I was going for
controversial figure. A lot of but personally a good man.
I don't know him as well. Yeah. Next question.
Not afraid to talk about the most, I don't know, the wildest conspiracy theories.
Are you getting into RFK territory? Take it easy.
No. I'm not getting into some of the stuff because he's gone through a political nightmare, a legal nightmare of his own.
Well, let's talk about this legal and political nightmare at 1600. So Hunter Biden's living at the White House now. He's flopping on the couch.
I'm not sure what he's doing. I think he just came for July 4th and just came out for the hangout, the ceremony, the photo op. Of course, the bumps on the balcony.
He gave us a photo op.
And maybe they went to Camp David to hang out, and then he left his baggie in the library, perhaps. But I mean, he is a well-known cocaine addict, and he was there. And they somehow found a baggie, and Secret Service 2023 with all the forensic. What do you call it? I don't know.
Capabilities.
I like that. Forensic capabilities that they have at their disposal, and they were still unable to come up with who done it. So here's Jean-Pierre, secretary, stands by the thorough investigation into cocaine found at the White House, expressing her confidence in the Secret Service after they announced last week that no suspects were identified in the investigation into who brought cocaine into the White House.
They were lying. The people knew that they were lying. They knew that the people knew that they were lying, and they lied anyway.
And get this, Tom Cotton said the Secret Service didn't even talk to Hunter Biden about the White House cocaine. He says, I don't think they interviewed the president's son, who is a known cocaine addict. So following the announcement that they had shut down Tom Cotton, so they didn't talk to Hunter. We've got no answers, Cotton said during the interview, adding, that's not surprising. The Secret Service is a troubled agency as it's had long had challenges. It probably needs new leadership. So he says he takes this very seriously. What if it was anthrax? Says this is like Hamburglar lived in the White House and all the hamburgers disappeared, and they said they didn't have any suspects or know anybody that they could question.
The Coke burglar.
Right.
The Coke burglar. I would love to see the Coke burglar.
So again, yeah, it's just it's insulting, and this is just par for the course for the Biden administration. Like, we all know who the number one suspect is, and they're going to sit here and play stupid. Not that I think there should be criminal charges, but I think we all know who it is, and that person would deal with criminal charges. It would be a monumental scandal. It would, embarrass America in front of the world if the president's idiot drug addict son left to beg after all of the scandals and the laptop and the IRS thing and the business dealings and the crack cocaine pipes, or driving his car 174, or his illegitimate child that he had with the stripper in Arkansas, which is where Tom Cotton is, I think. There's so many things. And then he messes up again and brings cocaine into the White House. I mean, this guy, I don't know how the media keeps covering for it, but yet they do. So it's the double standard, and it's insulting to think this is what's going on, and no one seems to care. And here we are. Welcome to 2023.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Yeah, I like the visual of the Hamburglar.
Yeah.
Someone took all the hamburgers.
Gee.
Who could that have been?
And then you got to watch all the leftists on Twitter pretend like either it's a non-story or that the Hamburglar was like, why would he do it? Oh, just because he's the Hamburglar. No, you're racist. You're misogynist.
You're burger phobic.
Yes, it's something. Yeah. I don't get what these people thinking. It's cult mentality, and we're in a lot of trouble as a country. We can't even be intellectually honest, and it's sad. Or there's just so many people that are like getting paid off to present these opinions as though that they're own or that they come out of research. No, they're talking points handed to you by the DNC. So.
Yeah, this all has to change. It must change.
Hunter snorted all the
It cannot continue like that. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, let's go from one Biden story to another, shall we? There's a few more things we want to get to today. All right, Blake, do you agree or disagree that Biden megadonor Reid Hoffman, may or may not be related to Dustin Hoffman, is a pedo paying for political protection? Is he a pedo paying for political protection, Blake? Possibly. Agree or disagree?
I am going to absolutely agree until he can prove otherwise. But the burden of proof is not looking good. So let's take a look at this one. So one-time guest, he was on Jeffrey Epstein's pedo island. He donated nearly $700,000 to the Biden campaign fund. That seems like it should be illegal to donate that much money. But a joint fundraising committee raising dollars for Biden's re-election received a large donation from a tech billionaire revealed to have once traveled to Jeffrey Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. And he gave, it was $699,600. 69, dude. So into the Biden Victory Fund war chest. So
I was going to say, don't exaggerate. It wasn't misinformation, disinformation. Mom, Blake said it was 700,000, but it was really only 699,000 change. Mom, Blake's professing disinformation. Ban him.
Absolutely. So yeah, they probably would have put community notes. But
Yeah.
here is the man. Yeah, he's pretty creepy looking. Reid Hoffman, there he is. So why would you, if you were at the Pedo Island with Jeffrey Epstein and you're giving that much money to, the child sniffer,
Yeah.
pedo president, pedo Peter, whatever. Yeah,
This is all a bad dream. This is all a bad dream. This is all a bad dream. We're gonna wake up from this, Blake. We've got to get through this.
oh, it's going to be
It's
so
all so
embarrassing when
obvious.
it's all revealed because it's going to be so obvious. And how did people just not put these pieces of the puzzle together? I don't know. But yeah, why would this person give that much money to somebody that's, I could see if he was giving money to Obama because, he was inspiring. He could have been the next the first black president, something like that. But why would you give old Joe, who might not even run, give that much money? That is paying for political protection. In my book, I think it seems very obvious. But hey, prove me wrong. I don't know.
So what do we know? He was definitely on at least one flight.
Yeah,
Like,
at
has he
least.
been convicted? Has he been convicted of anything yet?
Oh, not that I'm aware. He's just Hoffman was the first notable guest on Little St. James, the site of alleged sickening abuse of girls as young as 12 by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Whatever. Prince Andrew. The well-heeled donor also visited the White House 5 times last year. We know what went on.
He's very directly connected to the White House and to Epstein. Direct. Multiple.
Yeah, and this was after Epstein was already convicted, so he can't play innocent. So he said he last interacted in 2015, but Epstein he pled guilty in 2008 for his misdeeds in Florida.
Yeah, it was when Trump kicked him out.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah, get that guy out of our club.
So Reid Hoffman, we're all eyes are on Reid Hoffman right now.
Yeah, perhaps that was kind of it's a big story. It's a lot of money, and why? So I call that
maybe he's a talented artist, like a painter. Like
he's
Hunter.
a co-founder of LinkedIn. I mean, that's cool, but is he worth $1 billion or? But they got to get some of the money out of politics. They can't have people like that giving that much money to politicians because it's just open bribe. It's open bribery.
Sure is.
All right.
All eyes on Reid Hoffman. Not currently convicted of anything, but woo, donating to Biden. Going to Little St. James.
What do you think happened when he was hanging out with Epstein on the island? And Jeffrey's like, hey, Reid, I got all these 12-year-old girls. You could, go pick one. Why don't you go pick one out? And the room, how they got him on camera.
It's so weird because it's like if I were offered that, I would be physically.
You'd be like, Jeffrey, don't tell anybody, but okay, you drive a hard bargain, sir.
Well, since offer,
we're in
I did have a
Virgin Islands and we're away from the states and away from scrutiny of the law, since I can get away with it and no one cares.
What percentage of the Earth are infected with this? Have you seen the movie yet? Have you seen Sound of Freedom?
Have you?
No, but I may be resolving that soon.
Yeah.
I've had concerns. I try to be careful what I consume. I know what's going on. I know why I do what I do, but I don't really need gratuitous, grossness in my life per se. But since it's so hated by Hollywood, I have to see it. Reid Hoffman is a co-founder of LinkedIn, says Jocelyn. What else?
Yeah, imagine paying LinkedIn subscription fees only to be contributing to the pedo lifestyle or the pedo network.
Goodness. And then what was the story with Ghislaine Maxwell? They're already putting out a death story. What was that?
Well, they could. I don't know if she's going to try to make a deal and give up some names, or if she's going to disappear like Jeffrey.
Yeah, you're either unalived or you're moved. I don't think. I think I like to
Reid
think
Hoffman.
that John McAfee's kicking it somewhere, that he's not in the ground, that he just escaped and they found a body double and just all right, moving along, cremate the body, move along. Okay, I never really thought Epstein got Epsteined, but like that was the story, which is kind of crazy. And let's be fair, that happened under Trump's watch. I mean, that was a really high profile person that could have been kept safe, and he wasn't.
It was really with the Spanish authorities, right? Yeah. So.
Well, I'm mixing. I was talking about Epstein, but I was bouncing back.
Okay.
Dude, I saw from McAfee.
Did you know that Steve Bannon had a big interview with Epstein back in like 2019, and they still haven't released the footage for that? Like, I actually saw a video clip. I'd almost have to pull it up. I can find it, and I'm shocked.
Who hasn't? Bannon hasn't released it?
Yeah.
No, I've never.
I'm gonna have to go. Let me see if I can find. I did see it late last night, so maybe I didn't dream it. I'm trying to
thank you, Jocelyn. Yes, this guy, Reid Hoffman, funded the crazy lady from New York City's lawsuit, the E. Jean Pierre. What's her name? E. Jean King.
Yeah.
Stephen King.
Yeah, no, that one crazy lady at the the dressing room or whatever her name was. Yeah.
She was working. She was a Rolling Stone writer or something.
She was wacky. Like, everything about her she had no credibility. But
she still doesn't have any credibility.
Exactly. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to find this, but I know that I did see it the other night, and I'm just.
But it's never been released. You're saying?
Yeah, as far as I know. So I don't know where that came from.
Let's look into that one.
Definitely.
All right. Let's bounce to this one. We got a couple more to get to. Kamala Harris, obviously, she is. I just want to remind you that she is the perfect person to speak about artificial intelligence. She, when the aliens land and say, "Take me to your leader," we will bring them to a potentially inebriated Kamala Harris. Well, if the day ends in Y, it's likely that she's under the influence of something. This one doesn't make it. Take us to your leader. Yes, hi. I'm in charge of artificial intelligence. And I'm Al Gore, and I invented the internet. Okay, how'd you get here? I don't know. All right, anyway, so did Kamala have a Freudian slip discussing plans of depopulation?
Yeah, it appeared that way. So anyway, I was trying to look for this Bannon and the Epstein for the interview. I'm gonna have to find this. We're gonna have to follow up on this because I need answers. I want to know why they haven't released that. There's some unusual things with some of they've held on to some of these documentaries and things for a while, including the one we just mentioned. So I don't know why it takes so long to release, but I will continue to follow up. All right. Meanwhile, let's get to this Kamala Harris clip, which I do have. So she was making a speech, which has got to be terrifying for the people around her, and she's usually probably going to mess something up, especially if she's goes off script. And in this case, she was reading the teleprompter, but still mucked this up. But could it have been a Freudian slip? So check this out.
About the impact on something like public health. When we invest in clean energy and electric vehicles and reduce population, more of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
So they've come out and said what she really meant to say was reduce pollution. But a lot of us have long suspected that all this climate change stuff is actually about reducing population. And they probably talk about these things behind closed doors, and she perhaps became confused and had thus the Freudian slip. So she was roasted about this. And it must have been awkward for the guy doing sign language. You think he signed pollution, or did he sign like depopulation? I don't know. I can't read sign language, but
what is the you put a fake 2 fingers to your head?
yeah, what is the sign for
Slice the
depopulation? Translate it. Yeah.
By the way, Pied Piper here is saying about Maxwell preparing a cover story for her demise. He said he saw it on Sunday. It was very good, but definitely disturbing. They said that she snitched on her cellmate, a trans, having sex in the facility. So now they'll be able to say that she was a snitch. So something about snitching, jailhouse snitch, and then they're going to try to get her that way. He was suggesting, okay, something to keep our eyes peeled for. But a Freudian slip about depopulation. I mean, all of my teachers, my whole life, there's too many Earthlings, too many humans. We're ruining Earth and Earth Day and Captain Planet. He's our hero. He's going to take pollution down to 0. No carbon emissions, carbon tax credit. It's like we give off what plants crave.
Brondo.
Right? Brondo. We give off what plants crave. It's called carbon dioxide. It's literally their oxygen. So if you want more trees and plants, you need carbon dioxide, you goofballs. So this climate cult thing is just wacky. Let's be cleaner. Let's pollute less. Let's clean more. Fine. But like this radical, let's all go be Amish. How about let's start with you? Why don't you go be Amish first? You want to drop the telephones. You want to drop the private jets. You want to drop your Teslas. You want to drop your air conditioning. Then you go do it. More power to you. But leave us the hell alone. Stop telling us that we can't have a gas stove in our house. Stop telling us that we can't collect our rainwater. We can't set the air conditioning. We can't do this. We can't do that. We can't have meat in the fridge. We can't have a freezer running. Like, how dare us? You will eat bugs and like it. How about just you go eat bugs? Why don't you go eat bugs? Oh, is this the Brondo? Yep. You found let's see it.
Water. Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay,
It's
look,
electrolytes.
the plants aren't growing.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Oh, well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
All right.
That's brutal. That is a brutally dumb. Oh, that movie. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, okay. So they said instead of depopulation, she meant to say depression. What was the word?
Instead of pollution, she said depopulation.
Instead of pollution, she went with depopulation.
All right, let's run it one more time.
No. I mean, I know, but yeah, I know what she said. But they're saying that the cover up is that they tried
to say pollution. She was supposed to say pollution, which fits too. I'm not saying she did. It's a Freudian slip. She meant to say it, but that's what was on her mind.
I think it's a good thing
Energy
that she
and electric vehicles and reduced population. More of our children can breathe clean air and drink clean water.
So.
Wow.
Either way.
No, they're all pushing for depopulation. So just let it be known. There's a depopulation agenda. Deal with it. By the way, earlier I wanted to tell you when I said next topic, and you said, wow, that sounded like so-and-so that I wasn't super familiar with. It was from this. I don't know if you remember this skit. Let me play a second here.
The McLaughlin Group, an unrehearsed, assembled program presenting inside opinions and forecasts on major issues of the day. With Jack Germond of the Baltimore Sun, syndicated columnists Pat Buchanan and Eleanor Clift, and Morton Kondracki of the New Republic. Now here's the moderator, John McLaughlin.
Issue number one, the commander-in-chief in Mexico. Bush wants a free trade agreement. What does President Salinas want? Pat Buchanan.
John Salinas is playing up his recent economic...
Come on.
I don't think it's so much what Salinas wants. It's what the Mexicans...
John, this is just another case of President Bush trying to push a policy.
I'm not sure Bush has a policy, which is part of the problem.
I believe Eleanor has the floor.
Thanks, John. The hard truth is that Bush needs Salinas more than Salinas.
I think this agreement talk is basically...
Within 1 year. Issue number two, Maggie.
There we go. Not next topic. Issue number 2. That's what I was kind of going for.
Nice.
The next topic.
Issue
number 2.
Right.
You remember that skit?
SNL? It's been a while, but yes, I'm a big fan of the. It was kind of the golden age of SNL for me, anyway. It's the All
right. Well,
Phil Hartman years. Yes.
Yeah, some of those were fantastic skits,
but,
and I do miss Phil Hartman.
Real quick, just let me pop. I mean, this is a true story. Steve Bannon was prepping Jeffrey Epstein for the CBS interview, and there is video that I have seen. It is out there, so it's unclear. This is in 2019, so why hasn't this come out?
Bannon was prepping Epstein?
Yeah, he gave a series of interviews on film in 2019. And the interviewer was former Trump strategist Steve Bannon. So it's described. Times reported Bannon told Epstein to look into the camera now and then, so not to come across as stupid. He should stick to his message that he is not a pedophile. In the end, Mr. Bannon seems impressed. So I don't know. So I did see a clip of that, and I was blown away. Why would he? I don't know. Well, I don't know the whole context of the interview and why that hasn't been released. You would think that'd be bombshell. Like I would have loved to have been able to interview or actually interrogate Epstein, non-violently. I'm just generally curious to get in his head. He's a total scumbag. But just to answer,
yeah, but I've heard it described that. I've heard it described that he was just kind of he was just the front man. He was just the CEO of the thing. He wasn't running it. This is a deep state alphabet agency, global psyop, honeypot campaign to catch as many flies in the spider web as possible. So then if you need a favor called in, you just email somebody, you shoot a text message with them and a young boy down there and, a 13-year-old and, high resolution showing your birthmark on your elbow and everything. There's no doubt that that's you. Why don't you kind of come along with our side of what we're thinking? Right. I mean, yes, this is an upside down world, Jocelyn. Of course it is.
We don't know who the good guys or the bad guys are. It's confusing. Changes by the day. I don't know. I don't know what to believe half the time anyway. I just...
So you're saying it comes down to what people identify as. If they identify as a good guy, if they identify as a bad guy, if they identify as a girl who's now a great swimmer, right? Like Leah Thomas. Blake, do you agree or disagree that this Leah Thomas? What's Leah Thomas's birth name?
What was it? I forget.
Was it Michael or something? Or that was
no Williams. So it's William Thomas.
Leah Thomas is a trans terrorist and should be banned from competitions. Is this something you would say you disagree with or something you agree
I
with?
would agree. And now here she is. She was he or whatever. I don't care a whole lot what people.
I care enough to keep men from women in a competitive environment of sports.
Exactly.
Yes, I care that much.
Should not belong in women's sports, and is now he's bragging that he's a super soldier for Antifa. So this is Riley Gaines. This is this fabulous female swimmer who was.
Kentucky.
Yep, from Kentucky, who lost competition to a biological male.
Yeah, but did she lose? She was the only woman she was the first place woman.
Oh, did she actually beat him?
No. She had the first place. She was the woman that had the best time.
Oh, okay, yeah, she should have won, but she didn't because she lost to this person. Who should not have been in the competition. So she thinks
because they were not born a lady.
Right. So
biology, physiology, strength, bone density, many reasons you don't put men with women in a sporting capacity head to head.
But now we live in a crazy absurdist dystopia, and it's allowed. And you're bad for even mentioning that. So while Riley says she hasn't specifically bashed Leah Thomas on anything other than calling him an entitled narcissist, because ultimately he was following the rules in place, because this is disturbing. But now yeah, here she is bragging about, being part of the the trans-violent militancy is the current focus of Antifa. They believe that critics of trans ideology should be silenced, maimed, or murdered. Some call for sexual violence against females, in particular, as revenge. That, according to...
What the hell is wrong with these people? Who is saying this? Who is putting this out there?
Well, I mean, this is, well, as Andy knows, so he's been like actually attacked. He's in Portland, and he has had some violent run-ins with Antifa, and he's just trying to, call it out. So,
and Antifa is a terrorist organization. They were labeled as such.
Well, they almost were labeled as, as
no, Trump did label them as a terrorist.
No, he was trying to. Because that would have changed everything. Because then it would have forced the feds to start cracking down on him, but they didn't. So, but they are certainly bad news. There are radical activists who are confused and misled, and run by Soros and the deep state, and they get away with a lot of stuff, and they cause a lot of harm. But now a trans-identifying swimmer shows true colors in her social media post on Meta. So here she is, Leah Thomas. Made headlines for competing women's NCAA swimming championship while still a fully intact biological male dressed up as Antifa. And now it's kind of called out. What the H? So anyway.
What the H?
No,
what the H?
I think she needs to, give up her medals and maybe, get a good swift kick in the balls. I don't know. What do you think?
Philosophically, Blake, we don't encourage violence here. You know that, even in jest. How does this person like where's the I don't get it. Where's the pride and self-respect? Like, you remember Billy Madison, where he goes into he's going back through elementary school to graduate?
Yes.
And he's playing kickball against the kids.
Oh yeah. Dodgeball or whatever. Yeah.
There's dodgeball. Yeah, probably. I'm trying to remember. Is it kickball or
dodgeball? He starts throwing the ball, whipping that ball,
blasting these kids. That's Leah Thomas competing with girls. That's why boys don't compete with girls. Where's the self-respect? That's not winning. That's ridiculous.
He couldn't compete with the other, the boys. So then he just identifies as a female, even though he didn't actually transition. So he still technically has a penis and balls, and he's allowed to compete. And he's hulking over all of the girls. So rather than just, be content to not be a world-class swimmer as a man, he just, I identify as a woman now, and now he's a champion, and now he's just going for it. And maybe he's narcissistic or whatever, but now he's trying to identify as, with Antifa, like a militarized goon. So he's like, to me, just anti-American, and he's a total fraud and a narcissist or what have you. So as far as he's like an enemy of the state, I don't know. That's disturbing. So, but that's too bad. It's a very confused individual.
Yeah. I found it, by the way. Let me see if I can pull this up here. No, why is it doing this? Unwanted ads. Okay. And skip ad. Here we go. I wish I had a producer to just get all of this stuff so I don't have to have the lag time, Blake, but it's okay. You know what it is. We're the producer, the engineer, the on-air talent, the crack research team, all of it. So here's Leah Thomas.
The whole thing on the flying by the seat of our pants. All right. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Not big trouble.
I'm Leah Thomas. Gotcha. I got first place. Look at me swim. I'm in the locker room. Missed me. Get out of here, Riley King. Go home. I'm Leah Thomas. I'm an Antifa person. Big fat. Here, reality. There you go, reality. I dominate reality. Yeah, I'm Leah Thomas.
All right, good call.
I mean, like when you see it, you really feel it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what's going on here. Like I'm competing against girls. Wow, you're so what? What are you to go into the girls category?
And it's even worse when they're in the actual fighting, like when like the mixed martial arts style fighting, and like they're breaking skulls. Like what the hell? We've lost our damn minds, man. Right?
Jocelyn St. Thomas is upset because people haven't embraced the brave journey, or because perhaps Bud Light endorsement that had been in the works suddenly fell through for some. Was there? I don't know. Did you see Charles Barkley came out? He was all super Bud Light.
I did. That was kind of odd.
That was
I
weird.
liked it too much to dismiss him completely over one thing, but yeah, it was kind of odd that he would do that. But
all right, we got 2 more, Blake. Let's bounce to this, and we don't have Charles Barkley in the stack, or Gnarls Barkley. That's some good music. So Justin Trudeau, Blake, agree or disagree that he's correct to blame the American right wing for Muslims resisting child? Justin Trudeau. Hold on. Let me just
blame the American right wing.
Thank you.
For Muslims.
It's so absurd, Blake.
It is. What's absurd is that he's the legitimate son. No, he's the illegitimate son of Fidel Castro.
Okay, yes. So Justin Trudeau blaming American right wing for Muslims opposing LGBTQ plus curriculum, quote, leave our kids alone. I ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, please protect our belief, the sin that you are doing to them, a member of the Muslim community told Trudeau. Here's a person, agenda item. There you go. Okay. Prime Minister Trudeau blamed the American right wing, blah, 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 pushing the gender confusion ideology and LGBTQ plus. The plus part is pretty much the part, and I guess the T if you're pushing confusion, in a curriculum in K-12 education. The video was of Trudeau speaking with the Muslim community last week at mosque after hundreds of protesters rallied against gender confusion ideology in schools, chanting, leave our kids alone. The frustration reached a boiling point after audio surfaced of an Edmonton public schools teacher berating Muslim students for skipping school in order to avoid pride events. Quote, it goes 2 ways. If you want to be respected for who you are, if you don't want to suffer prejudice for your religion, your color of skin, or whatever, then you better give it back to people who are different from you. That's how it works, said the teacher. A Muslim individual explained to Trudeau where the community was coming from, according to the video. Quote, I asked her, please protect us, blah, blah, blah. I'm repeating what I already read up earlier. He responded, first of all, there's an awful lot of misinformation and disinformation out there from people on social media, particularly fueled by the American right wing, are spreading a lot of untruths about what is actually in the curriculum. Trudeau's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So in Calgary, hundreds of protesters leave our kids alone. Our kids, our choice. My brothers and my sisters, we cannot stay hidden anymore, for the issue is getting closer to each and every one of us, said Mahmoud Mora at the event. If you're not a father today, tomorrow you will be. If you're not a mother today, tomorrow you will be. You'll have a daughter, or do you have a son who is of minor age? He's so vulnerable. And you have some hyenas and some real powerful predators. They are willing to go. They do whatever they can to take your kids away from you. So, Blake, I mean, of course, you got to blame this on the American right wing, right? This is obviously the boogeyman in the room, yeah?
Yeah, they're standing in opposition of their insane agenda. They're trying to normalize this stuff. Sorry.
Justin Trudeau trying to blame the American right to kind of belittle the people who are opposed to gender confusion ideology, grooming, and yeah, what he said, hyenas, jackals. What he said? What was that quote? Something predatory. Okay, yes, and this is your contention that this is Fidel Jr.
This is not contention. This is like 99.9%. Like that's Justin Trudeau's dad is on the upper right, and Justin Trudeau's mom's on the upper left. They loved hanging out with Castro back in the day, and they were swingers in the 70s, baby. So these or whenever that was. So yeah, I mean, look at the faces. That's the son. The biological father of Justin Trudeau looks nothing like him. He is a very ugly dude, and he was had his hot little beauty queen that was 30 years younger than him, and so yeah, he was probably he was happy to have his girl get impregnated by Fidel. They loved him, so they hung out all the time, multiple trips. So he was the illegitimate son, and it's Justin Trudeau. 99.9% that's they're biologically related. I mean, there's pictures right there. I mean, you can't say that didn't. Look at him. Look at her holding him. Yeah, holds you like Justin Trudeau's mom holds Fidel Castro. I mean, tell me that's not the son. Brian, tell me.
You were mentioning a hot little thing, so I mean that's a nice way to kind of move from Leah Thomas into this Trudeau story.
A biological female, right?
Yeah, that part. All right, look, Trudeau is certainly governing like somebody as crazy and backward as Fidel Castro,
like a Cuban dictator, right?
Like a Cuban dictator. Yeah, but was Fidel more for the New World Order? Was he like a globalist or he was a nationalist? I know he was an asshole and a mass murderer, but I don't know if he was more of a globalist. But
that was
anyway,
before those times. Yeah, that was before. All that.
Yeah, Trudeau is ruining Canada. Please, can we get some real leadership in Canada? Can you please recall this man? Have another recall? Get him out? Or is their voting system? Has it been fortified to the point where we're never going to get an actual representative from our neighbors to the north again? Just like Chelsea Clinton doesn't look anything like Bill. Wow.
Yeah, it's like Webb Hubble's kid or something.
There you go, Webster Hubble.
Yep.
No comment and hung up.
Yeah.
All right. Now talk about famous parents and famous kids. Final story of the day. Blake, agree or disagree? RFK Jr. should be disinvited from censorship hearing for anti-disestablishmentarianism. I mean, anti-Semitism.
Disagree. No, at the very least, they should invite him to explain himself for the.
But that would be hateful rhetoric, Blake.
Right. Yeah, so they want to just dismiss him. It seems like they just want to get rid of him and smear him with all kinds of these terrible attacks and then throw him away and never to be seen again. He's a big threat to the establishment, and so. Yeah, it's a big story. Is actually the New York Post. I'm disappointed to see this and how this happened. Oh, and I think I lost my. I had an article about it.
I was going to say because what is the what was the quote? What he should be disinvited from a censorship hearing because he's being accused of being in. And by the way, I'm anyway. It just there's certain phrases.
Right.
When they say, well, anyway, we've been over this ad nauseum. There's like 20 or 30 phrases. When I hear it, I cringe and I'm like, wherever this is going next, I think you lost me. But what is the accusation here? What happened and why is he getting dragged?
Well, here's Joel Pollak again. Another appearance here from Breitbart, which I'm surprised. Holy good God, how many ads are on Breitbart now? What happened? I mean, it's hard to even to look at. It's just they're everywhere now, like a different type of website. So maybe they need the revenue. I don't care. They still put out some good stuff, and Joel Pollak's a good guy. So we'll take a look at, and he's also Jewish. So he's saying Democrats plan to ask Jim Jordan to disinvite presidential candidate RFK Jr. from this Wednesday's hearing, that will be tomorrow, at the Weaponization Committee over his recent controversial remarks. So Kennedy was accused inaccurately over the weekend of claiming that the coronavirus was, quote, ethnically targeted to spare Jews. But he did not, in fact, say that, but said bioweapons targeting ethnicities were a threat, citing differential responses to the coronavirus amongst different population groups as evidence it could be done. And then if we scroll through all of these ads, Oh my God, we get this little tiny paragraph here. Democrats who are said to be worried about Kennedy's challenge to Biden seized on the story, and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who actually has his own history of supporting anti-Semitism, accused Kennedy of using a vile anti-Semitic trope. And here is the tweet from Jeffries saying the disgusting use of a vile anti-Semitic trope and unhinged xenophobic conspiracy theory is unacceptable and unconscionable. Hate crimes directed at the Jewish and Asian American communities have skyrocketed in recent years. So he just took like this whole little molehill and made a giant mountain of it, and now they're using it to try to just get rid of Kennedy in any way they can. So it's pretty sad and desperate.
So RFK Jr. said that he was talking about the virus being genetically manipulated to possibly target certain people of certain demographics.
Yeah.
Then he was accused of saying something he didn't say. Am I understanding this right?
Right. So this is out of the New York Post, who broke this story. So candidate RFK dished out some wild conspiracy theories at a press event, claiming the bug was genetically engineered.
A conspiracy? Who called it a wild conspiracy that China built this bioengineered weapon of mass destruction? This is all well known. Who's calling that a conspiracy?
Well,
who the hell wrote this?
Whoa. Well, it's not that the COVID's a conspiracy or anything with the lab. He's just saying that it's the genetic, what do they call it? Genetic bioweapons or race-specific bioweapons. That was wild conspiracy.
Of course it is.
Well, if it was,
it's not. It's obvious.
Okay, well, no. Well, if it was engineered specifically to target specific races, that might be a conspiracy theory. That originated in a lab. They said it was a conspiracy theory, but that's true. Even though they dismissed it. And even though they dismissed that they're not actually doing gain of function research, that was true.
They lied about not doing gain of function research, and if it was made in a lab, it was considered, it was created,
right?
And part of the process of creating a bug is to figure out who it's going to go after. So of course that was part of the process. So it's at least obviously potentially accurate that this was genetically engineered by China to attack
but
non-Chinese,
but
start with that. Possibly,
I hear you, but was it ethnically targeted to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people? So he made some comments. They took it out of context. Robert F. Kennedy did put out these tweets saying the New York Post story is mistaken, saying he has never ever suggested that the virus was targeted to spare Jews. Says he accurately pointed out during an off-the-record conversation that the U.S. and other governments are developing ethnically targeted bioweapons, and that a 2021 study of the virus shows that it appears to be disproportionately affects certain races. I don't know all this terminology here about fur-and-cleave docking sites, but it's compatible with blacks and Caucasians, and least compatible with ethnic Chinese, Finns, and Ashkenazi Jews.
Yeah, the cleavage sites are kind of like on-ramps and off-ramps to the freeway. I don't know. Maybe I'm kind of explaining that poorly, but yeah, the cleavage site kind of shows that this didn't happen naturally. This didn't just occur in nature. And yes, maybe it was just a janitor that got this stuff, and he's like, I'm not going to throw these bats in the trash. I'm going to go sell them to this lady and make $10. Put it in a soup, and yeah, maybe you did do it that way. But if you let diseased bats out of your facility, you're either reckless or you did it intentionally. So that doesn't absolve the people from their, the repercussions of their actions. But so, all right. So what do we make of RFK discussing this? Just, he should never discuss things ever again. He should never say the J word. He should never discuss race. He should
They took it out of context. They want to smear him and destroy him. So that's typically how they do it. And now the Democrats have decided, he's going to show up at this meeting tomorrow, Wednesday, talking about censorship, because his name came up because the government, they basically removed some of his YouTube videos, and they've removed some of his content, or he was banned on Instagram for a while. So he should be there to talk about those things, but the Democrats are saying no. He said all this hateful stuff about, anti-Semitic terrible things, and so he should not be there. So they're just using that as an excuse. but it's pretty sickening. So it's great to see Joel Pollak come out and address that. And as a Jewish person, to say, hey, listen, this is not what it's about, and he should be. And it's the irony of like it's an anti-censorship meeting, and you're going to censor this guy from speaking, when they could just call him out and say, ask him to specify what he said there and clear the air.
You can't give them a platform of hate,
right? So,
Jocelyn saying Dems want RFK Jr. disinvited to Capitol Hill testimony, basically saying let's censor a witness in a hearing about censorship.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
said it better than I did. All right.
The simulation is laughing at us. They don't want either RFK Jr. or Trump to run in 2024, and they're doing everything that they can to prevent it. Jocelyn also positing, is this more proof that 23andMe and similar agencies and companies are just bioweapons research?
I'm curious to find that stuff out, but I've heard that they just goes into a database that could be potentially used against you someday. I don't know. Exactly.
Yes. All right. Well, we tore through the news. We added extra stories and we kept it reasonable today. A little long, but hey, it is what it is. All right, Blake. Well, any final thoughts on the way out the door? Anything you're particularly looking forward to?
The censorship meeting tomorrow, and whether RFK will show up, whether he'll be allowed to speak.
So we'll all keep all eyes on RFK. Anybody else scheduled to speak that we'd want to hear from, like in Alex or any of the big names?
I'm not sure what else is going to be, or if there's going to be a series of these, or whether they're going to subpoena Zuckerberg at one of these future hearings, because we do need to figure out how this apparatus has been turned against us. So it's the weaponization of federal government, and they are using powers and infiltrators in social media to censor and shadow ban their political opposition. So, and then of course,
they're trying to arrest Trump. They're trying to indict Trump in every state.
Yeah, whatever they can do to prevent him from running. He's their number one enemy, and he showed it. He nailed the straw poll. So
it's RFK in the USA. It's RFK in the USA.
Two populists, and that would be great if we could get RFK versus Trump. That would be fantastic. That would be the ultimate. And the establishment would be freaking the F out. But
who would you like to see as Trump's vice president? Final question. Right now, if you had to pick someone.
I'll go Carrie Lake.
Because?
She's great. She's awesome at what she does. She should have been governor, but if they're not, she would drive the media crazy. She's really smart and articulate and fearless. And between her and Trump, and as that balance, the leftists the heads would be exploding all over the Beltway. It'd be glorious, and on Twitter as well. So I could only imagine. So I think she would be the best running mate.
I see the wisdom there. I think Vivek. We didn't even cover Mike Pence self-owning himself with Tucker Carlson.
Oh, he got destroyed. Haley got destroyed too. She has no business.
I didn't see the Haley one, but I saw where I saw where Pence just basically said he doesn't. What was the exact quote? The U.S. isn't my concern. That's not my concern.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's more prioritizing giving tanks to Ukraine, even though we've got massive fentanyl problem and homeless all over the streets.
Crumbling infrastructure, ecological disasters. Every city in the U.S. is worse off than it used to be. That's not my concern.
Yep.
Disqualified.
Yep. His concern is with the neocon donors. Give him money.
I mean, there's the right wing is removing their own. These are things you cannot come back from. Like he's done. Toast. I don't know whoever thought he had any chance. He's polling around 5%. Oh, toast. Yep. So. Cheers to you, Mr. Pence. Thanks for not kicking those electors back to the States in 2020 or 2021, right?
Yep, early 2021. January.
To the point where they had to change the law so that you couldn't do the thing that you pretended that you didn't have the right to do, right? Remember that?
I sure
Remember
do.
Pelosi took control that day when they made sure to open locked doors and remove barricades and turn it into a media circus so that they could distract and ram through the vote. And then you put up fences to keep the people out because you overthrew the United States. Remember that?
Oh, I sure do.
You remember Pepperidge Farm remembers that. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
It was a rough period. That was one of the darkest days, eras, what have you, of like, how did this happen? They took it, they certified it, and we kept trying to believe in some of these kooky conspiracy theorists that were trying to say that this could be undone, or it was only temporary, or the good guys were going to swoop in. None of that ever happened. It was very frustrating to live through that. So not fun.
Dreamer puts a great question up here. How many percentage points in the polls away are we from an RFK indictment? He's got to get to 30. He's got to go north of 40.
Ooh, that would be awesome if he got that high. But yeah, they will definitely pull out all the stops. So it was sad to see the New York Post to go after him. But you expect the left to do whatever it takes. So to get him out of there, they're scared of him, and he does stand a chance. It might force them to play Newsom or something like that. Maybe Michelle Obama if they have to. So it's causing panic, and it's great to see. I'm glad he's running. Regardless, it's good to get another voice and somebody controversial, get us all speaking, talking about it. So.
Absolutely. All right, cool. Well, that concludes today's program of the Agree to Disagree show for Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. Blake, tell people where they can find you, sir.
Twitter, TV's Blake Walley, and the archive is always on thenextlevelnews.com.
Excellent. All right, cool. Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Blake.
Everybody.
Appreciate you. Everybody in the chat room.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Follow the New American Media everywhere. Do the things, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, and American_media_ on Twitter. Follow us. Do it. Connect. I would love for our Twitter presence to get stronger. Get in the chat room. Are you on Twitter? Raise your hand. Can you tag us? Can you participate? We engage in a back and forth on that platform? Let's, because we do shows twice a week, but we're on Twitter every day.
That's right. Yeah. And people can drive the news. If they want to share an article or something we missed, something that deserves more attention. I don't know if you can share them in the chat, but you could on Twitter if you tagged us. Yeah, cover whatever. So it's a user-driven show, right?
He loathes Twitter, but he's on there.
Oh, Twitter's the best place for news. There's no competition there. There's just no way to get more efficient news feed. Yeah, but that's the beauty of it, is you can also lurk. See, that's what I don't like about Facebook Messenger or even Telegram or some of these other ones, because they know, then everybody knows you're online. So where Twitter is, I can just if I want to lurk, I can lurk. Nobody knows, and you can absorb so much information in such an efficient amount of time, and just news moves constantly. So it's great, love it, can't get enough.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, Jocelyn says stay cool and garden early in the morning before it gets too hot. And most importantly, she's looking forward to more news from us on Thursday.
All right. We're looking forward to having you.
All right. Cool.
All right,
well,
cool.
We're signing out here from Planet Earth. We'll
Thank
see
you.
you in a couple days. Thank
All
you
right,
so
everybody.
much.
Take care.
Take care.